border agents are begging DHS Secretary Mayorkas to show up and do something. But instead, he just attended a fancy dinner party with MSNBC host and honchos celebrating Jen Psaki's new show.
Joe Concha joins us now. Joe, how bad does it look that Mayorkas was hobnobbing with MSNBC literally just moments after his Border Patrol chief, mind you, testified on Capitol Hill, and by on Capitol Hill, I mean at the border on Capitol Hill, that the federal government does not have operational control of the border?
It looks elite. It looks out of touch. It looks apathetic towards what is absolutely a crisis to many Democrats now saying, at least those who have lawmaking abilities in Arizona and Texas are saying is absolutely a catastrophe and a crisis. And I guess, Todd, what we got was a preview of what Jen Psaki's new show is going to look like. Right. And if she, if she were to have Secretary Mayorkas on her show, why do we all get the feeling that he won't be asked even remotely one fair or tough question regarding his F- failure at the U.S. southern border? MSNBC simply does not care, by the way, how this looks. This was a celebration dinner for Jen Psaki's new show in public at a restaurant with plenty of photos being taken. And from what I've seen regarding Ms. Psaki so far during her appearances on the network, she is utterly uninteresting and inauthentic. You take Peter Doocy or Jackie Heinrich out of her life when she doesn't have a foil to spar against, instead put her in an echo chamber, you'll see how low those ratings are when they come out next week. Save the tape, Ashley.
You know, obviously it looks bad to America, but think about these CBP agents. You know, I was talking to Tom Homan yesterday, and he said that 17 of the agents have committed suicide. It's that bad to where they're taking their own life. And for them to see him going to these posh parties, what a slap in the face to those agents who are protecting our border when they just want him to come down there and do something. Anything, Joe. But we do have to get to this. Second gentleman Doug Emhoff making some pretty shocking comments about parents protesting woke ideology in schools. Listen.
I met one woman who was saved in the Holocaust in Germany, settled in Ukraine, and is now a refugee again. This stuff is so important. This hate is interconnected. You see it in the discourse in the country right now. You see it in the divide that we have, and that just going to a school meeting, you see that hate that is out there.
Your reaction to what you just heard?
Wow. At last check, I think that Doug Emhoff and Kamala Harris don't have kids, and that's fine, to each their own. But I have a feeling if the second gentleman did have children, as I do, as so many parents out there watching right now do, and he learned that his first grader was being taught about gender identification, sexual orientation in a school that his taxpayer money was going towards, he may show up at the school board meeting and demand transparency as well. And this is why, by the way, we have a Governor Youngkin in Virginia, which was quite the blue state until he came along and ran on the education issue. It's one of the reasons why we have Ron DeSantis just being reelected by 20 points in Florida. It was based on their simple stance, and it's logical. I don't even think it's a conservative stance. I think it's a common sense one, that parents have a right to know what their children are being taught. Plain and simple. And Doug Emhoff simply does not get that. While he's talking about how horrible divide is in this country, and then says the exact divisive things that help bring divide in this country, Todd.
Yeah, they don't have kids together. He's got, I believe, a child from a previous marriage, but it's older. So, you know, your situation where you're not going through the same shenanigans that children in this day and age are going through.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.